list, one stop. Every successful school year begins with one simple list. No searching from store to store, no missing essentials, just friendly service, fully stocked shelves, and everything your child's classroom requires, all in one place. This back-to-school season, make shopping simple. Visit ANR today and check every item off your list.
Tonight on Love Live at 6, a new UB study estimates that political campaigning in Belize costs up to $75 million every 5 years. Concerns are raised over alleged attempts to pad the Punta Gorda voters list ahead of the 2027 municipal elections. Finance Officer Salvador Alas remains under scrutiny over government spending at multiple ministries. 17 months after winning her case against the government, former public officer Rosemary Tillett awaits payment. Financial Services Commission seeks public input on proposed laws to regulate cryptocurrencies and other digital assets. Government identifies land for a permanent National Fire Service headquarters in Belize City, and the Caribbean Court of Justice reserves judgment in a multi-million-dollar dispute over land at Cat's Key. Stay tuned for these stories and more in tonight's newscast.
Introducing GrowWatt, a global leader in distributed energy solutions, delivering innovative solar technology trusted around the world. Engineered for reliability, designed for sustainability, built to power every scenario, powering homes, empowering businesses, creating a smarter energy future for Belize. For residential hybrid systems that maximize energy independence, to homes across Belize benefiting from smarter, more efficient power management. GrowWatt off-grid solar storage solutions bring dependable electricity to locations beyond the traditional power grid, providing clean, reliable energy whenever and wherever it is needed. For businesses, GrowWatt delivers powerful commercial and industrial energy solutions that help reduce operating costs while improving energy security, including proven installations right here in Belize, helping businesses operate efficiently with dependable solar energy systems. As transportation evolves, GrowWatt EV charging solutions help power the future with clean energy. Need power on the move? GrowWatt portable solar power solutions provide flexible energy for construction sites, events, emergency applications, and temporary installations. GrowWatt delivers energy-smart solutions for a greener future. Distributed in Belize by Llano Supplies, 112 Ranchita Village, Corozal Town.
Cada conexión es más que solo una señal, es un estudiante abriendo las puertas a su futuro a través de la educación digital. Una mente joven atreviéndose a soñar en grande. Nuestra cultura compartida con el mundo en tiempo real. Y héroes cotidianos respondiendo al llamado del deber cívico. Cuando nos conectamos con Digi, empoderamos a Belice.
The success of my business means a lot to my family, especially my brother, because I'm continuing his legacy, making butterfly art collages. It was very hard for me to receive payments. I had to go directly to meet the person I'm purchasing from and who I'm selling to receive payment. Because I opened my business account with Atlantic Bank, now I can make and receive payments online, and this has made my job much easier.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Pelican is more than just brewed in Belize. It's made of Belize. And being made of Belize means being authentic, unique, and proud. This is what that looks like. Belikin, the bear of Belize. There are many stories to be shared about what it means to be made of Belize. Join Belikin in celebrating our Belizean heritage by sharing your unique story. A few of these stories will be selected to be produced into Belikin Made of Belize videos. Those chosen will receive Belikin Bear for a year and will be invited to join us during production. Let's tell the stories of what it means to be made of Belize. Please send us a WhatsApp message at 630-6519 or email us at madeofbelize@skz.bz.
BTB Accommodations License Renewal 2026 opens August 1st through the online portal. BTB is also having its license renewal clinic countrywide, starting August 10th in Corozal, then in Orange Walk, Key Cocker, San Pedro, Hopkins, Placencia, Toledo, Belize City, San Ignacio, and Belmopan. Remember, to successfully process your renewal at the clinic, managers with portal access must bring updated electronic copies of renewal requirements. Licenses will be ready the same day at the clinic. Accommodations operating beyond October 31st, 2026 without successfully completing the renewal process will receive a violation ticket. Operating without a valid license commits an offense. For more information, please contact our compliance officers at 227-2420 extension #247. Email hotels@belizetourismboard.org or WhatsApp us at 635-3688. Renew your BTB accommodation license through the online portal starting August 1st, 2026, or look out for the renewal clinic near you.
Ready, set, paddle into an unforgettable showdown along the Placencia Peninsula, the Battle of the Paddles 2026. On Sunday, August 2nd, the tranquil southern waters erupt with excitement as paddles are put to water in one of Belize's most unique water sport competitions. Starting at 8 a.m., competitors take part in one of 4 incredible races. A challenging 20-mile canoe race and a 10-mile sea kayak race through the Placencia Lagoon, alongside a dynamic 3.5-mile sit-on-top kayak race and a 1.7-mile paddleboard race around Placencia Key, all starting and finishing at the Placencia Municipal Dock. Feel the excitement as every stroke transforms the Placencia waters into the ultimate water sport battleground. Battle of the Paddles 2026, Sunday, August 2nd.
Battle of the Paddle sponsors are Barefoot Services, Crocodile Research Coalition, Placencia Village Council, WWF, World Wildlife Fund, Sandy Cove BZ Tours, Belize Tourism Board, Umaya Resort, Blue Reef Beach and Marina, Southern Environmental Association, Hidden Valley Wilderness Lodge, Reiki and Island Resort, Caves Branch Adventure and Jungle Lodge, Miramar Suites, a Belizean Nirvana, Gecko Property Management, Top Value Supermarket, Maya World Destinations, Captain Jack's, Belsin Decorative Concrete Solutions, Seahorse Dive Shop, Balam Golf, Kareem Gordon on behalf of Mango Creek, M&M Hardware and Service Station, Flowers Vacation Rentals, Primus Villas, Isiana Resort and Residences, 501 Trucking, Ziki Rental Agency, Wendy's Restaurant, Barefoot Bar, Maya Beach Hotel, PAC Protected Area Conservation Trust, and Love FM.
Good evening, Belize, and welcome back to Love Live at 6 with your news for tonight. I am Tamar Jones. Money is driving Belizean politics, but the public is largely being kept in the dark about where it comes from and what donors may expect in return. A new study from the University of Belize estimates that political campaigning and related activities could cost as much as $75 million over a 5-year electoral cycle. Of that amount, an estimated $31 million is spent on national elections alone. The report, Money in Belizean Politics, Breaking the Regulation Deadlock, was launched today by the Belize Policy Research Institute at the University of Belize, known as BELPRE. Dylan Vernon, the study's main researcher and presenter, says a candidate may need at least $500,000 to run a competitive general election campaign. Much of that money comes from private sources, but Belize has no comprehensive system requiring candidates or political parties to disclose their donors, the amounts contributed, or how the funds are spent. Vernon says that leaves the door open to undue influence and potentially dirty money entering the political system.
The lack of having disclosure of knowing who gives money to whom has been shown, and in the case of the report, we do point to examples of being a driver of corruption and also a facilitator of inequity in participation in Belizean politics. And so the report delves into these issues. It does have a chapter that looks at 15 other countries in the Caribbean and Latin America and uses best practices from them to develop recommendations that we think are best suited for Belize to get to the point where we do have our first act on regulating the political finance and political parties in Belize. General point the report makes is that while Belize does not have official public funding of political parties and candidates, that public resources in Belize can be used or abused to influence voters and constituents.
The report finds that Belize's existing election laws focus mainly on vote bribery, but do not adequately regulate political donations, campaign spending, financial reporting, or public disclosure. Researchers estimate that at least 1/3 of voters have participated in some form of vote buying or vote trading. The study also raises concerns about the partisan use of public resources, including constituency funds, land, scholarships, food assistance, and even disaster relief. According to Belpre, the high price of campaigning shuts out many independent candidates and smaller political movements, while giving wealthy donors and established political organizations greater influence over the electoral system. That lack of transparency is also linked to declining confidence in Belize's political institutions. Figures cited in the study show that only 24% of Belizeans trust political parties. 64% believe politicians are corrupt, while 78% say the same about public officials more broadly. The Office of the Prime Minister recorded a 32% trust rating in 2023, compared with 48% for the National Assembly. To break the regulatory deadlock, the report recommends fixed election dates and defined campaign periods, the registration of political parties, limits or bans on certain private contributions, spending controls, public disclosure requirements, sanctions for violations, and the establishment of an independent political party and Political Finance Regulation Commission. Vernon says proposals already developed by civil society organizations could provide the foundation for meaningful reform, but moving forward will require public pressure and political will.
Do you think it's practical, though, in the sense that the government will say one day they'll wake up and change up heart, say, make we implement this thing?
Yeah, I don't think it works like that. But of course, like Mr. Vernon said, Dr. Vernon said, you know, it's the start of the discussion, meeting with the Prime Minister, meeting with the cabinet ministers, and seeing exactly how would be the best way and the most practical way forward of implementing this regulation. I think it will, to an extent, restore some level of trust that we've seen have been eroded over time. I think a lot of people are upset at the fact of in certain areas there are lack of accountability and transparency, and I think this is the perfect step in fixing that.
Belpre argues that doing nothing is no longer an option. The Institute is calling for an inclusive national consultation backed by public education to determine the most practical system of political finance regulation for Belize. The report's central question is straightforward. If Belizeans do not know who is paying for the country's politics, how can they know what those financiers may be receiving in return? A police constable is awaiting sentencing after pleading guilty to 4 counts of unlawful sexual intercourse involving a girl who was 13 and 14 years old when the offenses occurred. 29-year-old Dexter Diego entered the guilty pleas before Justice Nigel Pilgrim in the High Court on Monday. His trial had been scheduled to begin that morning, but the matter ended in less than an hour after he admitted to all 4 charges. Diego was represented by attorney Earl Hamilton. He has been remanded to prison and is scheduled to return to court for sentencing on September 8. Before determining the sentence, Justice Pilgrim ordered the preparation of a prison report, a social inquiry report, and a victim impact statement. According to the agreed facts presented to the court, Diego was a family friend who became acquainted with the girl in 2022. They remained in regular contact over approximately 10 months and developed a secret relationship without the knowledge of the child's mother. The first offense happened sometime between December 31, 2022 and February 1, 2023, when the girl was 13. She had been babysitting children at a relative's home when Diego arrived and later had sexual intercourse with her. The remaining offenses occurred after the girl turned 14. The court heard that Diego visited her home on separate occasions between February and March 2023, including one occasion when he arrived wearing his police uniform. Diego pleaded guilty to 1 count arising from each of the 4 incidents outlined by the prosecution. He will remain behind bars until his sentencing hearing. Concerns are being raised over what sources describe as an attempt to pad the Punta Gorda voters list of next year's municipal elections. Information reaching our newsroom suggests that voters who reside in Bella Vista Village are being transferred onto the Punta Gorda municipal voters roll, even though they allegedly do not live within the town's boundaries. Sources claim the questionable transfers are connected to an internal struggle within the People's United Party over who will lead its Punta Gorda municipal slate and contest the mayoral seat. That allegation has not been independently proven, and no determination has yet been made that any transfer was improperly approved. Our newsroom was first alerted to the alleged transfers earlier this week. Shortly afterwards, the Elections and Boundaries Department published an official list of objections for the Toledo East Electoral Division. The notice identifies 6 electors whose inclusion has been challenged. The objection in each case was filed by Punta Gorda resident Leroy Ned Supal on the stated ground that the person does not reside in Punta Gorda town. The electors objected to are the former Senator Bevington Cal, Zong Yoaruan, Asher Marie Thompson, Bruce Sidney Thompson, and Matias Santiago Joel. A revising officer is scheduled to hear the 6 cases at the Punta Gorda Magistrate Court at 9 o'clock on July 30. Earlier this month, the Chief Elections Officer, Josephine Tamai, laid out the rules for the transfer period.
This exercise is extremely important because many times we hear people complain about persons actually voting where they no longer reside. And I want to encourage the public and specifically registered electors, if you have moved, then go into the Election and Boundaries Registration Office in the division where you now reside. The law provides and it states that those persons shall inform the Election and Boundaries Department. I know that many times people believe that they have an opportunity or they could decide, but the law is specific to say that those persons shall visit the Election and Boundaries Department to do their transfers. And so it is important if we want to see free and fair elections, that in order for you to be eligible to register and for you to vote in any election, you must be 18 years or more, you must be a Belizean citizen, and one of the other requirements is that you must reside at the address at least 2 months or more in that specific division where you're applying to get registered.
The Punta Gorda objections are similar to a dispute that arose in Cayo North in 2024, when more than 100 registrations and transfers were challenged amid allegations that some applicants did not live in the constituency. Following court hearings, a magistrate ordered 24 names struck from the Cayo North voters list after finding that the required qualifications had not been satisfied. That decision later became the subject of an appeal. Belize's 3 main financial regulators will now use the same computer system to track sanctions and information connected to possible financial crimes. The Central Bank of Belize, Financial Intelligence Unit, and Financial Services Commission have signed agreements setting out how they will access and use the sanctions registry system. The registry is a secure database developed by the central bank. It is designed to help the agencies organize and examine information linked to sanctions, money laundering, terrorist financing, and other illegal financial activities. While all 3 institutions will use the same platform, each agency will operate independently and access it according to its own legal duties. The agreements establish the rules governing that shared use. The agencies say the system should make it easier to find and analyze information, coordinate their work, and apply financial regulations more consistently. The initiative expands on an existing agreement among the 3 regulators to cooperate and share relevant information. One important detail, however, was not addressed in the public announcement. The agencies did not explain what safeguards are in place to protect sensitive information, control access to the database, or prevent misuse of the information stored in the system. Finance Officer Salvador Alas is once again under scrutiny as questions continue to surface over government payments and approved expenditure at several ministries where he has worked. The latest financial queries reportedly involve the Ministry of Sustainable Development, where Alas was most recently assigned. Sources say certain payments and spending approvals are being reviewed, although the full extent and outcome of that review have not been made public. Alas previously served as finance officer at the Ministry of Defense, where auditors are examining a series of payments and purchases, including transactions valued below $10,000. He was later transferred to the Ministry of Economic Transformation before being assigned to the Ministry of Sustainable Development. His movement between ministries has raised a wider question for the public service. When concerns arise about an officer's performance or decisions, is the problem being properly investigated or simply transferred from one government office to another? Minister of Sustainable Development Orlando Habet recently acknowledged that concern, saying the transfer system can sometimes result in an officer who is not meeting expectations being moved to another ministry instead of the underlying issue being addressed. Alas has since reportedly been placed on administrative leave. Minister of the Public Service Henry Charles Usher gave only a brief comment when asked about his status and the concerns surrounding him.
I think he was placed on a leave of absence for a matter internal to sustainable development, so that matter didn't come to the Ministry of Public Service.
It also remains unclear whether the matters under review relate only to procedural failures or whether investigators suspect more serious financial misconduct. The Department of Youth Services, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has launched this year's Girls in Governance Summer Camp, bringing together young women between the ages of 14 and 19 for a week of learning and engagement. The initiative focuses on exposing participants to leadership opportunities, governance concepts, and tools that can help them become more confident voices within their communities. Love News visited the Kindred Spirits campgrounds, where we spoke with Director of the Department of Youth Services, Indira Logue.
So today you're seeing the first day of our Women in Governance Camp, or Girls in Governance Camp. This is a partnership between the Department of Youth and UNDP. So today commences the first day of our Women Empowerment Camp. It's about women in leadership roles or women who want to assume leadership roles. So basically governance in partnership with our sponsor UNDP. So they will be here for 6 days.
Throughout the week, participants will take part in discussions, activities, and interactive sessions designed to build awareness around civil responsibility and decision-making. Camp Director Sabrina Enright explained the purpose of creating this space for young women and what they can expect from the experience.
This camp is designed to engage 50 young women to enhance their leadership skills and to also enhance their understanding of civic engagement and just basically how the government works. And throughout this week-long camp, we'll be engaging in several activities and sessions that deal with digital literacy, how the government works, and who holds the power, and everything like that. And it's not only about just sessions and, stuff like that. We also be participating in more fun activities like sports. We also planned a fun treasure hunt, so the girls not only, just to kind of have a balance of not only work but also play as well. The camp also provides the girls in attendance an opportunity to interact and network, and like I said, to just strengthen their leadership skills, because I believe our young women or our young people on a whole are the future leaders of Belize. So it is important for them to get a proper understanding of how the government works and properly equip them with the tools necessary to prepare them as our future leaders.
The Department of Youth Services says the Girls in Governance Summer Camp reflects its continued partnership with UNDP and UNICEF. The department continues to expand programs that support youth development across Belize. A fresh coat of paint may seem like a small thing, but for the people who use the Raymond Parks Night Shelter, it can make a big difference. The project is part of this year's Let Girls Learn Belize program, a week-long camp that brings together young women for leadership training, learning, and community service. This year's theme is service, and over the past 2 days, the girls have been putting that lesson into action. Love News reporter Suseli Show has the story.
Every year, Let Girls Learn Belize brings together girls who have been part of the program during the year for a week of activities that help them grow as leaders. This year, the participants are young women from the Keepers Project in Maskell Village and Wesley College in Belize City. Each year, the program focuses on a different theme. This year's theme is service, encouraging the girls to give back to their communities while learning the importance of helping others. To put that lesson into practice, the participants spent the past 2 days working alongside Canadian volunteers and members of the Love Foundation to repaint and fix up the bathroom area at the Raymond Parks Night Shelter. Managing Director of the Love Foundation, Deborah Erskine, says the project gave the girls a chance to see how even a simple act of service can have a positive impact on the life of others.
Raymond Parks Shelter is a night shelter for men, senior men, and what happens is that they are allowed to, there has to be an application process. They're allowed to stay here at night. They have a place to stay. They would be homeless if they didn't have this place to stay, and it's run by the Salvation Army. So we have been, the Love Foundation has been supporting several of the people who live here. And when we come to visit and drop off food, we realized that there were certain things that needed, mostly it was the bathrooms that needed upgrading. And so we decided to do the bathrooms, but then we also realized that there were certain areas that needed just a little upliftment, painting. So Major Sanchez from the Salvation Army asked if we could paint the fence so that the men would have, a better view when they sit down on the veranda. And then we decided that we would just go ahead and do the kitchen, areas that really needed some help. No one asked us, no one invited, no one asked us to come and do the project. They didn't send a letter to us. we were just familiar with members of the community who live here and realized by coming here that there was something that we could do to uplift the place.
Co-founder of Let Girls Learn Belize, Cynthia Turnquest Jones, has been leading the annual program for many years. She says service learning continues to be one of the most important parts of the program because it teaches the girls the value of giving back while building leadership skills.
Community responsibility starts when you're young, and it carries along with you until you get older. Being a part of something that is wrong and bringing a solution in is extremely important, and showing our girls this at this age will carry them through. It may even connect to a career that they go into, and that is also very powerful. The one impact is about humanity and how we owe the task of giving back and doing without being told to do so. So this is a part of love. When people ask what is love and they are unable to define what it is, this is what love is about.
Helping to make this year's program possible is a team of Rotary volunteers from Canada. They stepped in to support the initiative after funding from the program's original donor came to an end. Rotary volunteer Gail Taylor shared that throughout the week, they have been working side by side with the girls, sharing experiences, building friendships, and taking part in the different activities.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot. We've done some workshops, teaching the kids goal setting. Now we're painting a homeless shelter, and it's just been an amazing experience. And I love your country. I'm hoping that what they take away is how important they are. I mean, at such a young age, we're not painting. We're really not painting. We're giving hope to people that are homeless, saying, wow, somebody cared enough about us to paint our place. And I want them to know that. I want them to know, wow, they're changing the world at such a young age. And for them to see that, that's going to be cool.
I'm hoping for more positivity in their everyday lives and how to spread that at school in their surroundings as well.
It is amazing because it is giving, especially our rural girls, the opportunity for things that is not possible in that area. So being part of the Let's Girls team is very amazing because you notice that the girls are becoming more motivated, their self-esteem is developing, they're even doing great in school, So it's an amazing program for us to be a part of, especially being from the rural area.
The experience is pretty great, to be honest. I get to meet new people and get an opportunity to give back to the homeless shelter along with them, and also support others as well and let them know that no matter what, they got it regardless.
The service project is just one of several activities planned for this year's Let Girls Learn Belize program. Tomorrow, the group will travel to Goffs Key for a day of fun, fellowship, and cultural exchange, while spending more time with the Canadian volunteers and strengthening their friendships they have built throughout the week. Reporting for Love News, I am Suseli Shaw.
After almost 6 years without a permanent base, the National Fire Service in Belize City is moving closer to getting a headquarters of its own. Minister of Disaster Risk Management Henry Charles Usher has confirmed that land has been identified near the Eleanor Hall building, where the government intends to construct a purpose-built fire service compound. The proposed facility would bring the service's administrative headquarters, training yard, mechanical workshop, and operational resources together at one location. Usher says the government is now working to secure the financing needed to move the project into construction.
When the National Fire Service headquarters was sold by the UDP administration, there was no plan for it. There was nowhere for the National Fire Service to go. They had been begging lodging at the Marion Jones Stadium, a place that was not suitable for the National Fire Service. We are preparing and we are in plans now to get the new National Fire Service headquarters built very close to the Eleanor Hall building. There's a land designated there, so we're happy that we're proceeding with that. We're looking for funding for that particular project as we speak. Currently, a space is being rented for a part of the National Fire Service, not the full headquarters. The administrative headquarters is there, as well as the North Side Fire Station is there. The mechanical yard has been moved to Ladyville, and other areas have been moved to other areas because we just don't have the space available in the other locations. But when we do build the new headquarters, we'll be able to have the administrative headquarters, the mechanical yard, the training yard, etc. for the National Fire Service, so it will be good.
The fire service did have a stable office, but in 2020, its headquarters on Cleghorn Street was sold to Atlantic Bank for approximately $2.8 million. The sale was completed under the former UDP administration shortly before the November 2020 general election. At the time, the government said the Cleghorn Street building was cramped and unsuitable for efficient emergency deployment. However, the property was sold before a replacement station was built, leaving firefighters to move into temporary accommodation. The former administration had identified the Holy Emmanuel area near Chatham Boulevard as the intended location for a new station, but construction never began. For more than 4 years, the service operated from the Marion Jones Sports Complex on Princess Margaret Drive. In September 2025, the headquarters was moved again, this time to Kyle Mar Street. That location primarily accommodates the administrative arm of the service, meaning its Belize City operations remain divided among different sites. Love News reported that the move was another temporary arrangement while funding for a permanent compound was pursued. To date, no construction date has been announced and financing has not yet been finalized. The rollout of the government's new online recruitment portal marks a significant change in how applications for public service jobs will be handled. The platform, powered by the Neo People Human Resources System, now serves as the central space where Belizeans can view available government vacancies, submit applications electronically, and receive updates throughout the recruitment process. Minister of Public Service, Disaster Risk Management and Enterprise, Henry Charles, says the portal was introduced to make applying for public sector jobs more accessible while improving efficiency within the public service.
We had a job portal before, but what we found was that the space that was available was not enough. We had persons who were submitting their resumes, who were applying for jobs, but it got crowded and it came down often, so we had to continuously have to buy additional space. Now, with the services being provided and the improvements being made, we've opened a new job portal with more space and more features so that persons can go in there, see what jobs are available, upload their resumes, etc. And also a feature that I am particularly happy for is one where if there is a vacancy for a particular skill, it can actually look and to see if persons have submitted a resume with that particular skill and try to match them so that we could maybe contact the person without that person having to say, I'm interested in the job. So Neo People has been contracted to do some digital work for the government. It included this portal, as you said. It includes the attendance record being digitized and some other areas where we're trying to prove. This is part of a bigger project for the modernization of the public service. We actually got the approval from the IDB for a loan to modernize it, to look at the pay scales, to see how we can improve the services being provided. So it's all part of what Plan Belize promised in terms of the modernization of the public service.
Minister Charles explained the process behind selecting the company responsible for developing and implementing the new platform.
Neo People has been contracted to do some digital work for the government. It included this portal, as you said. It includes the attendance record being digitized and some other areas where we're trying to prove. This is part of a bigger project for the modernization of the public service. We actually got the approval from the IDB for a loan to modernize it, to look at the pay scales, to see how we can improve the services being provided. So it's all part of what Plan Belize promised in terms of the modernization of the public service.
Persons interested in applying for positions within the public service can access the portal through publicservice.gov.bz by selecting the job portal option on the homepage. Belize could become the home of a regional security center designed to watch for possible Chinese threats to computer systems and important infrastructure across the region. The proposal is reportedly being considered by the United States government, but has not yet been approved. According to the Associated Press, the Trump administration is considering spending more than $340 million in over 50 projects intended to counter China's growing influence around the world. One proposal would establish a security operations center in Belize. The facility would reportedly monitor possible cyber attacks and threats to essential systems such as telecommunications network and other critical infrastructure. However, several important details remain unknown. The report does not say where the center would be built, which Belizean agencies would operate it, how much money would be spent here, or when it could begin operating. The United States also plans to spend almost $176 million to replace aging underwater telecommunications cables in parts of Central America and the Caribbean. American officials want those cables replaced with technology supplied by the United States or other countries it considers trustworthy. The program would reportedly benefit El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, Haiti. Belize was not included on that list. The United States argues that Chinese involvement in telecommunications, ports, and other major projects could create security and economic risks. It says the proposed programs would help countries protect important systems and rely less on Chinese technology and financing. China has rejected claims that its overseas investments are aimed at competing for power or influence. Beijing says its cooperation with other countries is intended to support development and strengthen international partnerships. If the Belize Security Center is approved, the country could receive new technology, training, and intelligence to help identify cyber threats. At the same time, it could place Belize more directly in the growing rivalry between the United States and China. For now, the project remains only a proposal. Neither the United States nor the government of Belize has publicly confirmed that the center will be established. The Financial Services Commission, or FSC, has opened public consultation on the proposed Digital Assets Bill 2026. The draft legislation is intended to establish rules for digital assets activities conducted in or from within Belize. This could include businesses that provide cryptocurrency and other services using blockchain or similar technology. According to the FSC, the proposed law is intended to encourage responsible innovation while protecting consumers and ensuring that companies operate fairly and transparently. It would also seek to prevent market abuse and bring Belize's digital asset industry in line with international standards. The Commission says it wants to develop Belize into a properly regulated and internationally respected location for digital asset businesses. The consultation is open to financial institutions, professional associations, technology companies, investors, consumers, and other interested persons. Anyone wishing to participate can review the proposed bill, consultation paper, and comments sheet on the FSC's website. Submissions should clearly identify the section of the bill being addressed, explain the concern, and recommend any proposed changes. Written comments must be submitted by September 8. The FSC says the public's feedback will help determine whether the proposed rules are practical and suitable for Belize before the bill moves forward. A former public officer, Rosemary Tillett, became ill after reportedly being exposed to mold at the Income Tax Department building where she worked. Tillett had reportedly asked several times to be transferred from the building, but those requests were not granted. As her health deteriorated, she sought medical treatment in Merida, Mexico, and was left with mounting medical expenses. She later sued the government and won her case. 17 months after the court's decision, however, Tillett says she is still waiting to be paid. When the matter was raised today, Minister of the Public Service Henry Charles Usher first sought to correct what he described as a misrepresentation of the case in the media. Usher clarified that the events that led to Tillett's illness and legal claim occurred during the former United Democratic Party administration.
There was a matter of Miss Rosemary Tillett. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Yes.
A case that was taken to the High Court and she got a judgment in her favor. But Channel 7 said, and I want to be clear, that she wrote the Ministry of Public Service numerous times and did not get any answer. To be clear, that those letters and the medical boards were done in a previous administration, because it made it sound like it was happening recently. The case happened recently, but those medical boards and those correspondences were done, I believe, in 2017 and 2018. So I just wanted that clarity, in case people were wondering if it's something that was happening currently. In terms of the judgment has been passed. The government has accepted the decision of the court, and we're working out a payment schedule so that she can get the payments that she is entitled to. The judgment happened in 2025, if I'm not mistaken, so this is something that we need to see why the putting the judgment into effect, enforcing the judgment might have taken longer, but it's something that we intend to satisfy very soon.
Usher could not explain why the payment has taken 17 months. He assured Tillett that the government will honor the judgment. Beyond the delayed payment, the case has raised wider concerns about the condition of government offices and the health risks public officers may face when those buildings are affected by mold or other environmental problems. Usher addressed the substance of Tillett's complaint, acknowledging the problem of mold in the office where she worked. He said the government is now trying to correct those types of workplace issues across the public service.
She was complaining about the mold in the building, and it's why we have actually made improvements in terms of rentals. We have a dedicated staff for looking at rentals, inspecting these premises, making sure that even after it's rented, that they go in there to make sure that it's still an environment that does not cause any type of illness or so. So it's definitely an area that we're trying to improve on, and unfortunately this happened to her, but she needs to get her judgment satisfied, which will happen.
The Caribbean Court of Justice has reserved its judgment in a multi-million-dollar land dispute involving 14.76 acres at Cat's Key in the Stan Creek district. The 3-hour and 15-minute hearing centered on whether Rudolph Ramirez and Julius Zabani should receive damages reflecting the land's market value or only a refund of the original purchase price. Ramirez received Minister's Fiat Grant number 304 of 2008, and after paying the government $2,878.20 for the property. However, the same land had already been conveyed to Pullman's Pleasure Cove in December 2005, 3 years before the grant was issued to Ramirez. Ramirez reportedly discovered the duplication in 2014 and sought to have the grant corrected. In September 2019, the Lands and Surveys Department issued a rectification, but it only corrected an entry number. The underlying problem that the land already belonged to someone else remained unresolved. The same 14.76 acres were subsequently reissued to Ramirez under Minister's Fiat Grant number 157 of 2016, dated September 2019. Ramirez later assigned his purported interest to Julius Zabani. Ramirez and Zabani sued the Attorney General and Minister of Natural Resources in 2021, seeking specific performance of the land contract or damages representing the property's market value. The government initially argued that the claim had been filed outside the legal time limit. That defense was later struck out without objection from the state, and default judgment was entered for Ramirez and Zabani in March 2023. During the assessment of damages, the claimant's expert valued the property at $8.9 million, while the government's expert places value at just over $5 million. High Court Justice Patricia Farnese adjusted the government's valuation to reflect the estimated value in September 2019 and awarded Ramirez and Zabani $2,087,938.28 in January 2024. Ramirez and Zabani appealed, arguing, among other things, that the award was too low. The government responded with a notice seeking to have the decision varied. In August 2025, the Court of Appeal overturned the multi-million-dollar award. It found that the 2019 grant was void because the property was no longer national land and therefore could not legally be granted by the minister. The court also placed significant weight on the finding that Ramirez already knew about the earlier grant when the land was reissued to him in 2019. The Court of Appeal declared that the 2019 grant null and void and ordered the government to refund Ramirez $2,870.20. It also ordered Ramirez and Zabani to pay the government's legal costs. Ramirez and Zabani then took the dispute to the CCJ, seeking to restore the High Court award or otherwise set aside the Court of Appeal's decision. Former Prime Minister Senior Counsel Dean Barrow appeared for Ramirez and Zabani, while Senior Counsel Eamon Courtney represented the Attorney General and Minister of Natural Resources. The arguments addressed whether the Court of Appeal was entitled to reconsider liability after the government's defense had been struck out and judgment had already been entered against it. The CCJ was also asked to consider whether damages could legally be awarded under a land transaction that the Court of Appeal found was impossible to perform. Following submissions from both sides, the CCJ panel reserved its judgment. A date for the delivery of the decision will be announced. There's more news ahead. After this break, we'll be right back.
People, not businesses, power the economy. And they deserve to be acknowledged, appreciated, and compensated for their efforts. Because when your people are successful, so is your business. Neo People, simplify your HR and payroll needs with one powerful solution.
Commercial Cleaning and Products of Belize, CCP, formerly known as Carpet Care Plus, offers a wide variety of professional restorative cleaning services and products in Belize. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, our mission has always been to provide our customers with the best products and services for quality, safe, and environmentally friendly cleaning. What separates us from the rest? The services we offer. Fabric cleaning for all types of carpets, upholstery, walls, and drapes. Vehicle detailing for both the interior and exterior. Total restorative cleaning of ceramic and porcelain tiles for floors, walls, marble, granite, limestone, travertine, clay, and more. Degreasing and polishing of the entire kitchen and all its equipment. Also custom concrete designs. We are a supplier of the most cost-efficient and economically viable products when you buy our specialized super concentrated formulas, such as cleaners, disinfectants, deodorizers, and sanitizers. Additionally, we also carry professional cleaning equipment, such as mops, buckets, vacuums, doormats, and window equipment, which are very durable and practical. You can order any of our products online at www.ccpbelize.com. CCP Belize uses only trained technicians, professional commercialized equipment, and EPA certified products. Our products are 100% biodegradable. We also have certified green products, which are used by Green Globe approved companies. Visit us at 68 North Front Street, Belize City, or contact us at telephone 223-1820. Email us info@ccpbelize.com.
So it started off like any other summer day in Belize. I decided to go down to Builders Hardware since I heard they had 25% off on summer outdoor products. I got a couple of items, a chair, a grill, a cooler, and I got carried away, but the prices were so good. But anyways, I might have gotten comfortable, maybe too comfortable. Then I saw the news, man, the hurricane season was not playing with me. But thank God, Builders also had 25% off hurricane preparedness items as well. Flashlights, batteries, sealant, first aid kits, everything I need. And guess what? My grill survived.
Belize is calling for change, and the future is in her hands. Meet our 4 incredible delegates competing for the crown of Miss Earth Belize 2026. Join us for the national pageant on August 8, 2026 at the Belize City Civic Center. Tickets, general admission $10, VIP $100, and ultra VIP tables $1,000. Seating for 5, wine and charcuterie included. Tickets will be available for purchase at all Pink Boutique locations, Onyx Beauty Lounge, and Medisco. Be a part of the movement. Beauty for a cause. Miss Earth Belize 2026.
Ready, set, paddle into an unforgettable showdown along the Placencia Peninsula, the Battle of the Paddles 2026. On Sunday, August 2nd, the tranquil southern waters erupt with excitement as paddles are put to water in one of Belize's most unique water sport competitions. Starting at 8 a.m., competitors take part in one of 4 incredible races. A challenging 20-mile canoe race and a 10-mile sea kayak race through the Placencia Lagoon, alongside a dynamic 3.5-mile sit-on-top kayak race and a 1.7-mile paddleboard race around Placencia Key, all starting and finishing at the Placencia Municipal Dock. Feel the excitement as every stroke transforms the Placencia waters into the ultimate water sport battleground. Battle of the Paddles 2026, Sunday, August 2nd.
Battle of the Paddles sponsors are Barefoot Services, Crocodile Research Coalition, Placencia Village Council, WWF, World Wildlife Fund, Sandy Cove BZ Tours, Belize Tourism Board, Umaya Resort, Blue Reef Beach and Marina, Southern Environmental Association, Hidden Valley Wilderness Lodge, Reiki and Island Resort, Caves Branch Adventure and Jungle Lodge, Miramar Suites, a Belizean Nirvana, Gecko Property Management, Top Value Supermarket, Maya World Destinations, Captain Jack's, Belsin Decorative Concrete Solutions, Seahorse Dive Shop, Balam Golf, Kareem Gordon on behalf of Mango Creek, M&M Hardware and Service Station, Flowers Vacation Rentals, Primus Villas, Isiana Resort and Residences, 501 Trucking, Ziki Rental Agency, Wendy's Restaurant, Barefoot Bar, Maya Beach Hotel, PAC Protected Area Conservation Trust, and Love FM.
Back to School 2026 with the Angeles Press is here, and this year is bigger and better. We're talking unbelievable deals all summer long. Starting June 15, stock up on all your school essentials.
New notebooks, check. Fresh backpacks, check. Prices that make you smile, double check.
Mommy, I want my new Samsonite backpack.
That's right. Samsonite still offers a sweet 1-year warranty. And hey, you even get a free merch with purchase while supplies last. Stay in the loop by following the Angeles Press on social media. Every Friday during our back to school season, look out for our jaw-dropping This Stuff for Real deals.
So before you shop, make sure you follow
The Angeles Press, your back-to-school headquarters all summer long. The Angeles Press and the Love Foundation, transforming lives with love.
Ready, set, paddle into an unforgettable showdown along the Placencia Peninsula, the Battle of the Paddles 2026. On Sunday, August 2nd, the tranquil southern waters erupt with excitement as paddles are put to water in one of Belize's most unique water sport competitions. Starting at 8 a.m., competitors take part in one of 4 incredible races. A challenging 20-mile canoe race and a 10-mile sea kayak race through the Placencia Lagoon, alongside a dynamic 3.5-mile sit-on-top kayak race and a 1.7-mile paddleboard race around Placencia Key, all starting and finishing at the Placencia Municipal Dock. Feel the excitement as every stroke transforms the Placencia waters into the ultimate water sport battleground. Battle of the Paddles 2026, Sunday, August 2nd.
Battle of the Paddle sponsors are Barefoot Services, Crocodile Research Coalition, Placencia Village Council, WWF, World Wildlife Fund, Sandy Cove BZ Tours, Belize Tourism Board, Umaya Resort, Blue Reef Beach and Marina, Southern Environmental Association, Hidden Valley Wilderness Lodge, Reiki and Island Resort, Caves Branch Adventure and Jungle Lodge, Miramar Suites, a Belizean Nirvana, Gecko Property Management, Top Value Supermarket, Maya World Destinations, Captain Jack's, Belsin Decorative Concrete Solutions, Seahorse Dive Shop, Balam Golf, Kareem Gordon on behalf of Mango Creek, M&M Hardware and Service Station, Flowers Vacation Rentals, Primus Villas, Isiana Resort and Residences, 501 Trucking, Ziki Rental Agency, Wendy's Restaurant, Barefoot Bar, Maya Beach Hotel, PAC Protected Area Conservation Trust, and Love FM.
Welcome back to Love Live at 6. A Belize City security officer was killed in an early morning motorcycle accident this morning. Police say 31-year-old David Enenro Lucas, a resident of Forbes Road, was traveling along Princess Margaret Drive from the West Landivar area. Upon reaching the roundabout at the intersection of Princess Margaret Drive and Coney Drive, Lucas reportedly lost control of the Lifan motorcycle and crashed into a metal lamppost in the median near the Lion's Den. The impact threw Lucas from the motorcycle. He landed across Princess Margaret Drive and suffered severe head injuries. A portion of his helmet was also reportedly broken during the collision. Personnel from the Karl Huschener Memorial Hospital responded and transported Lucas to the emergency room. He was pronounced dead on arrival shortly after 5 o'clock this morning. Police processed and documented the scene, while the damaged motorcycle was taken to the Queen Street Police Station for inspection. Police have released additional details about a frightening encounter in which officers came under heavy gunfire while pursuing a vehicle through an area known for gang activity. The shooting occurred early Thursday morning as officers were following the vehicle. During the pursuit, someone inside reportedly opened fire on the police using what investigators believed was a high-caliber weapon. The officers escaped without injury, but the attack has raised serious concerns about the type of firepower now being used by criminal groups and their willingness to target law enforcement personnel. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stacey Smith provided details about the pursuit and the ongoing investigation.
What I can say in relation to this investigation, to that incident, is that the officers of the GI3 stated that they sought to intercept a vehicle of interest, and that vehicle refused to stop, and a pursuit ensued. The vehicle eventually collided into a lamppost, and 3 persons exited the vehicle, and when one of those persons who was in the front passenger seat was exiting, he fired upon the police officers who returned fire. All 3 persons were able to evade capture. However, the vehicle of interest has been impounded and great strides have been made as it relates to the investigation of this matter.
7 years after he was accused of killing fellow detainee Nestor Vasquez inside the Queen Street Police Station, Colin Francis Jr. has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. The 32-year-old also pleaded guilty to the attempted murder of psychiatric nurse Agustina Eligio, who was stabbed at the Port Loyola Mental Health Clinic 2 days before the fatal attack on Vasquez. Francis entered both pleas before High Court Justice Nigel Pilgrim on this afternoon as part of an agreement between the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions and his attorney, Peter Gay Bradley. The Crown accepted the reduced plea of manslaughter in Vasquez's death on the basis of diminished responsibility. Medical evidence indicated that Francis, who has been diagnosed with schizophrenia, was experiencing an acute psychotic episode at the time. The first incident occurred on June 4, 2019, when Francis visited the Port Loyola Mental Health Clinic seeking treatment. According to the agreed facts, he returned later that afternoon in an agitated state and said he was not feeling well. Francis subsequently attacked Nurse Eligio, stabbing her twice in the right breast and rib area. Her injuries were classified as grievous harm. Francis was detained and placed at the Queen Street Police Station 2 days later. On June 6, he and 60-year-old Nestor Vasquez were reportedly the only detainees in the cell area when officers heard a commotion. When checks were made, Vasquez was found badly injured in a pool of blood, while Francis was standing nearby. Vasquez died at the hospital on June 8. A doctor determined that his death resulted from blunt force trauma to the head. Vasquez was the brother of Channel 7's Jules Vasquez. The cases had been delayed because of questions surrounding Francis's mental fitness to enter a plea and stand trial. In 2024, he was declared unfit to plead, and Justice Pilgrim ordered psychiatric assessments every 6 months. A recent evaluation by psychiatrist Dr. Denithia Usher found that Francis was stable, taking his medication, and no longer using marijuana. He was subsequently found fit to enter pleas. Justice Pilgrim accepted the guilty pleas and ordered the preparation of a social inquiry report, a prison report, and both victim impact statements in both cases. Francis has been on remand since June 2019. His attorney will make mitigating submissions before Justice Pilgrim sentences him on September 7. A resident of the Lords Bank area has been remanded to the Belize Central Prison after being charged with 2 counts of sexual assault involving a 10-year-old girl. Manuel de Jesus Flores appeared before a senior magistrate yesterday where the charges were formally read to him. The allegations are that on July 18, Flores intentionally and unlawfully touched the child in a sexual manner without her consent. Prosecutors alleged that the incidents occurred shortly after midnight. Flores was represented by attorney Sharon Pitts Rabatu, who applied for bail on his behalf. She reminded the court that the charges remain allegations and that Flores is presumed innocent unless proven guilty. She also submitted that he is gainfully employed as a mason and could be required to follow conditions designed to ensure his return to court. Police prosecutor Sergeant Ayala opposed bail, citing the child's age, the seriousness and prevalence of the alleged offenses, and concerns that Flores could interfere with the complainant or the ongoing police investigation. The prosecutor also argued that there was a risk of further offending if bail was granted. After considering submissions from both sides, the senior magistrate denied bail at this stage and remanded Flores to prison. He is scheduled to return to court on September 17. Almost 300 young police cadets from across Belize are participating in the 27th Annual National Police Youth Cadet Corps Summer Program in Dangriga. On the program's second day, 279 cadets gathered at Ecumenical High School for activities combining personal development, culture, and sports. Community policing officers led rotating sessions on anger management, effective communication, and the importance of understanding the communities in which the cadets live. The participants also visited interactive educational booths hosted by the National Drug Abuse Control Council, the Ministry of Rural Transformation, and the Department of Youth Services. The presentations provided information on drug prevention, youth development, and community responsibility. The Hanigi Cultural Dance Group later led a practical dance session, giving the young participants an opportunity to connect with Belizean culture through music and movement. The afternoon featured a volleyball tournament involving teams from the country's 4 policing regions. The Eastern region captured first place after winning 2 of 3 sets. The Northern region finished second, followed by the Southern in third and the Western in fourth. The day concluded with cultural presentations from various precincts, allowing cadets to showcase their creativity and talents. The summer program is designed to promote discipline, leadership, responsible citizenship, while strengthening relationships among young people from different parts of the country. Love Life at 6 continues after this break.
If this is an emergency situation, please call 911 right away for immediate assistance. Do not use the Crime Stoppers program in an emergency situation. Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. Remember, the more information you give the officers, the more likely it is that we will be able to identify the suspect or confirm a crime has taken place. This ultimately helps when making arrests. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Never put yourself in danger to gather information. However, if you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Once you click Submit Tip, P3 will ask to send you notifications. You choose what's right for you. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Keep that info safe as you'll need it to check the status of your tip. Using the app, simply log back in using the PIN you created when you first opened it. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
I know I believe Jean. Of course I will make sure the place clean, especially the places then where we treasure.
Belizean. Of course, I have a bag for my garbage in my car.
I know a Belizean. Of course, I believe that all of we should do for we part to protect the environment.
I know a Belizean. Of course, I teach my picnic from small enough to throw garbage on the ground.
I know a Belizean. Of course, on and off the court. We unite as a team to keep Belize clean.
As Belizeans, let's trash the habit and not the beauty.
Manholes play a critical role in keeping our sewage and drainage systems functioning properly. They allow our maintenance team to inspect, clean, and clear blockages. When covers are missing or compromised, the entire system and the public are placed at risk. Stealing or damaging manhole covers is a criminal offense and creates dangerous conditions on our streets and sidewalks. Motorists and drivers are reminded that it is an offense to park or drive on sidewalks. The weight of vehicles, large or small, can crack and dislodge manhole covers. In an ongoing effort to protect lives, property, and public infrastructure across Belize City, your Belize City Council continues its citywide manhole cover replacement program. Since the launch of this initiative, thousands of damaged or missing manhole covers have been replaced, improving safety, accessibility, and the overall appearance of our streets and sidewalks. Despite these strides, manhole covers continue to be stolen or damaged, creating serious risks for pedestrians and motorists, including severe injuries, traffic incidents, and damage to personal property. If you see a manhole cover that is broken, missing, or unsafe, report it immediately. Take a photo and share the location with us via WhatsApp at 673-9055 or by calling 227-2308. Remember, maintaining manhole covers requires a shared responsibility. Together, we can prevent accidents, protect public infrastructure, and keep Belize City safe for everyone. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Welcome back to Love Life at 6. 16 outstanding students from across Belize were awarded scholarships this morning through the Belize Bank Scholarship Program. 10 of the awards for secondary schools and 6 for tertiary level studies. The scholarships were presented during a special ceremony celebrating the program's 14th year of helping young Belizeans access quality education. Over the years, the initiative has become one of the bank's flagship community investment programs, providing assistance to students who have demonstrated academic promise and a commitment to furthering their education. Love News spoke with Chief Executive Officer of Belize Bank, Filippo Alario. who emphasized that the scholarship program is more than just financial assistance. It is an investment in the future of Belize and its next generation of leaders.
Well, for us, the scholarship program is one of our cornerstone events. The bank does many initiatives and sponsorships throughout the community, but this is the one that is the most important for us because we can see the results. And now, being 14 years doing this, as I mentioned, now we have real data, real stories, real journeys, and we have seen how people, these kids have moved through the school and now into work and succeeding in whatever they want to be doing. We have about 250 students over the years, and what I can share with you is that we have even kids that have gone to Harvard University and have graduated from Harvard. We have people working in the bank and moving very quickly up whatever position they're in. As I mentioned, recently we have one staff member who spent a week in New York learning about global payments. And so all of these things really motivate us and embolden us to give more. I can't think of any other initiative that is more worthy than this one, because you're not also helping a kid, you're helping a family, you're helping a community, and you're helping the country. So these things are really foundational for us.
Among this year's awardees is Eliza Donis of St. Catherine Academy, who has benefited from the program in the past and is once again receiving support through the initiative. She reflected on what the scholarship means to her educational journey and how it has helped shape her future aspirations.
I was very grateful. I felt very blessed. I was feeling very happy. That same day I was wondering, I was like, it's been like some time now. I was like wondering, and I was like, would they still call me if I get rejected and told me like, oh, you didn't get it? And like the evening of that same day, they just called me and they were like, you got the scholarship, which was very nice. I was very happy about it. The application process is actually very easy. Like it's nothing complicated at all. Like no like searching for like a bunch of papers. They ask like for your passport, birth certificate, your high school transcript, your diploma, and that's about it. Nothing much. And also like your parents' information, if you have both parents with you, your mom or your dad, if it's just your mom or your dad.
Looking ahead to next year, when the initiative celebrates its 15th year, the bank says it hopes to increase the number of scholarships awarded, allowing more Belizean students to pursue their academic ambitions with support. 12 Belizeans will receive full scholarships to pursue training in refrigeration and air conditioning during the 2026-2027 academic year. The scholarships are being offered by the National Ozone Unit within the Department of Environment for a one-year program at participating ITVET institutions. The initiative is intended to build a skilled workforce capable of safely servicing newer climate-friendly refrigeration systems as Belize reduces its use of refrigerants that damage the ozone layer and contribute to climate change. Each scholarship covers full tuition, testing and certification fees, personal protective equipment, and the essential tools required for refrigeration and air conditioning work. Applicants must be Belizean citizens or permanent residents who have been accepted into or are eligible for admission to the refrigeration and air conditioning program at a participating ITVET. They must also demonstrate genuine interest in the field. The Department of Environment is strongly encouraging women to apply. At least 4 of the 12 scholarships will be awarded to qualified female applicants as part of an effort to increase women's participation in a traditionally male-dominated trade. Scholarship recipients will be required to maintain satisfactory academic progress, demonstrate good character and discipline, and comply with the policies of their training institutions. The application deadline is Friday, September 4. The Corozal Commercial Free Zone celebrated its 31st anniversary on Sunday with a special ceremony recognizing investors for their contribution to the zone's growth and success. Interim Minister of Enterprise Henry Charles Usher says the event acknowledged the work of investors while highlighting the free zone's importance to northern Belize and the wider national economy.
Today was the 31st anniversary of the free zone, so there was a event in there where some of the investors were honored for the work that they've done and for the fact that the free zone remains a vital part of the economy in the north and for Belize on a whole, and it's something that we have to continue to promote in terms of job creation. 3,000 plus persons working in the zone, 333 businesses operating in the zone. So those are the areas that we focused on yesterday.
The Corozal Free Zone currently has more than 333 businesses and provides employment for over 3,000 people. It remains one of the largest centers of employment and commercial activity in the Corozal district. The zone was established under legislation passed in 1994 and began operating in the mid-90s. Located near Belize's northern border with Mexico, it was created to attract foreign investment, generate employment, and expand the country's commercial and export activities. A 13-year-old who was once a baby in NICU has taken that history as inspiration to support families with babies admitted into the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, or NICU. The initiative is called Little Wonders, with an objective to provide care packages for newborns receiving treatment at the NICU at KHMH. The care packages filled with baby essentials range from diapers to milk and clothing. A founder, Gabriela Eck, was born prematurely and spent the first 10 days of her life in the NICU. She says her inspiration comes from that experience, along with a desire to honor the memory of her late cousin, pediatrician Dr. Cecilio Eck, and in continuing the charitable legacy of her grandmother's organization, Seas of Life. Eck spoke with Love News, who is making a public appeal to help fill the care packages.
Hopefully the babies in ICU currently will benefit from this project. Little Wonders is aiming to donate care packages to every baby in ICU, which will hopefully include diapers, blankets, baby caps, baby socks, and unscented wipes. These packages will help to ease the financial burden on those families, because my parents recall that when I was in ICU, it was a big financial burden with all the medical costs. So with this package, I hope to relieve the financial burden on those families. I hope to develop it into something that I can do maybe yearly over the summer, because it really means a lot to me, this project, and it really means a lot for me to be able to give back to those babies. I believe that everything is going to be okay, and that I feel as though I'm living proof that babies in ICU can grow and mature to be healthy and strong. Currently, we're aiming to donate to every baby in ICU. We've already started communication with KHMH, and they told us 23 babies are currently in ICU. So that is our goal.
Persons interested in contributing or learning more can contact the organization through its social media pages or by calling 667-0780. And this concludes Love Live at 6 for tonight. We want to say thank you for joining us. We do invite you to join us again tomorrow evening for another updated live televised news broadcast. Up next, we take a look at weather news.
Good evening, Belize. Approaching tropical wave will support a slight to moderate increase in moisture over the next 24 hours. The 24-hour forecast of Belize and her coastal waters calls for partly cloudy skies tonight, and showers or thunderstorms will be isolated and develop mainly over the south. Low temperatures tonight will be 82 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 74 inland and 68 in the higher elevations. Tomorrow, skies will be sunny, becoming cloudy at times, and high temperatures are expected to reach 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, to 92 inland and 81 over the mountains. A few showers and isolated thunderstorms will develop in the morning hours, mostly over the south at first. Then, as the day progresses, showers and thunderstorms will slightly increase and develop mostly over the central and northern areas of the country. The wind will blow from the east at 10 to 20 knots, and the sea state will be light sharp. A high tide will occur at 10:19 tonight, a low at 3:14 a.m., and then a high at 9:31 in the morning and a low at 4:55 in the evening. The sun will set today at 6:27 and rise at 5:31. The moon comes up at 6:04 this evening and set at 5:27 tomorrow morning. The outlook for Wednesday night is for partly cloudy skies along with a few showers and isolated thunderstorms to develop mainly over the south. On Thursday, expect mainly fair weather and showers will be isolated. In the tropical weather outlook, no tropical cyclone formation is expected over or near Belize and her coastal waters during the next 48 hours. And with that, we conclude your evening forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.